Well, what do you know? In their second week as the number one team, Syracuse has copycat scores as we come around Christmas time. Way to tune up for the holiday and the Big East schedule. And also, Buffalo's prayers were finally answered at the expense of Mr. Tebow. Well, week number 2 of Syracuse being ranked number 1 in the country. And you know, Syracuse is probably deeper than some NBA teams who finally tipped off their season yesterday after all that squabbling. Finally, pro basketball is back, and we can see Carmelo Anthony and any other Syracuse alums who are in the NBA. But enough about Syracuse alums in the NBA. Let's talk about the Orange, shall we? I just wonder if they were copycats. They won with the same scores against their 2 opponents last week. First up, it was that team from that beautiful little borough in central Pennsylvania. Why do they call them boroughs? We call them villages up here. Oh well, that's Pennsylvania for you. But it was that team from Lewisburg, PA, who 6 years ago spanked us up in the dome with a big upset. I'm talking about those Bison from Bucknell. But early on, we showed Bucknell wasn't going to come into our house and spank us again. We rolled out to a big lead, especially thanks to Mr. Christmas, who decided that Christmas should come early to Central New York, scoring the first few baskets of the game. And then after, he kind of went into hibernation. But hey, he kind of got things going for the Orange. And again, Chris Joseph, Scoop Jardine, and the nucleus of the team, showing that this team is so deep and so talented, leading Syracuse to an 80-61 defeat of the Bucknell Bison. And by the way, Jenna Kodak, you may have been going to Bucknell when they spanked the Orange, but you know, we got our revenge. But you know, you're still a good kid anyway. But then 2 days later, the team from New Orleans came in for Syracuse's final tune-up before the Big East. I'm talking about the Green Wave of Tulane. The football team had all that they could handle with Tulane's football team down in New Orleans this past fall. But Tulane's basketball team, even though they're a pretty talented bunch, were no match for the Orange. And again, Mr. Waiters is showing why he's so invaluable coming off the bench. He's definitely become the go-to guy for the second 5 for the Orange. And the thing is, he can jam it, he can shoot it, he can do everything. And one thing, Keita, what's going on with you, I think, with Bucknell? Don't you know you gotta finish a jam when you go up for it? Hey, Fab Mello is showing with his seasoning out and that he can finish jams, especially with our patented alley-oops. But Keita, when you go in for a jam, you gotta finish it. No more of that Kong. I could hear that gong all the way in Seneca Falls. But you know, Tulane's talented, but they couldn't keep up with the Orange. Another similar, and I mean similar, 80-61 win over Tulane. But now on Syracuse, it's the Big East. All the way to the NCAA tournament, it's all Big East. Now the real season begins. It begins Wednesday against Seton Hall. And on New Year's Day, we travel out to Chicago to take on DePaul. Although I think we shouldn't really have any trouble with the Pirates or the Blue Demons. Of course, last time Seton Hall played us, their three-point shooting spanked us. But whatever, get ready for a third straight week with Syracuse being ranked number 1 and this ranking could go on for a while, and I love it. And now, a change. Well, this time, Bills fans, I'm not afraid to be like Harry Houdini, because unlike the last couple of months, this time I'm proud to talk about the Bills. Thing is, everybody was predicting another bad one, because Tim Tebow and the Broncos were coming to Orchard Park. And everybody thought that they were going to see a lot of praying by Tebow. Well, you know, he's going to pray he doesn't face the Bills defense again. And I don't know whether they're going to be on the schedule next year. But of course, early on it looked like, oh heck, here we go again. Tebow led the Broncos down the field, and I mean on a nice long time consuming drive with his read option offense. And former Bill Willis McGahee providing another little insult to the Bills. His rushing made him I think the second or third running back in NFL history to have 1,000-yard seasons with 3 different teams. Finishing off with Tebow on that drive going in for the touchdown. But what was maddening to me was kicker Dave Rayner, who's been very inconsistent filling in for Ryan Lindell. First he misses that first field goal, then that second one, which was just 31 yards, he missed. And I'm just like the guy there in Hoi Polloi on the Three Stooges, going, oh, that's what I felt like doing. But finally, Rayner broke out of his funk, making it 7-3, and then Buffalo broke out of their funk. C.J. Spiller then running in a touchdown to give Buffalo the lead. And Spiller is showing why Buffalo drafted him number 1 last year, giving him the chance he's finally making do. Now you gotta wonder, can Buffalo afford to re-sign Fred Jackson and keep C.J. Spiller on the same roster? There's a quandary that teams would love to have. And then Leotis McKelvin finally showing why a couple of years ago Buffalo spent a number 1 draft pick on him, taking that punt and taking it 80 yards to pay dirt. Buffalo led 17-7 at the half, and as the second half began, Tebow and the Broncos came down the field again to another touchdown, but that was it. And then forcing Tebow to pass most of the time, we exposed his weakness. 3 times, Buffalo said to Tebow, sit down, son. Marcel Darius showing why we spent a number 1 draft pick on him this year, getting in there a couple of times to knock Tebow down. And Tebow, because he was forced into being one-dimensional, threw 4 times to the Bills. Rookie Justin Rogers with an interception. Rookie Aaron Williams with an interception. And then Rayner kicking 3 field goals to keep atoning for his misses early in the game. And then in the fourth quarter, in the span of about a minute and a half, 2 interception returns for touchdowns by the Bills. First, the Bird getting his first INT in a while. He just said, come on now, what? When he picked it off and took it to the end zone. And then just a minute or so later, Chris Kelsey, who's been one of the nucleus members for the Bills for the last 10 years. And boy, has he suffered much, but he's been such a gritty player. Coming in, knocking Tebow, the ball going up in the air. And Spencer Johnson going, thank you very much. Rumbling 16 yards for the touchdown that capped the scoring. It was a sweet way for the Bills to break out of the funk they've been in the last 2 months. A big 40-14 whooping of the Broncos and Tim Tebow. Buffalo's prayers were answered. And even though, we saw Tebow pray a couple times, hey, we didn't have to mock him. And the thing is, I don't like the people that mock him. Because in truth, I think Tebow's a fine, outstanding young man. but nobody should mock somebody who has good, strong Christian faith. Let's hope we keep our good faith with the Bills to finish the season strong. We're going to need it. Because guess who we have to end the season on New Year's Day? We go into Gillette Stadium that has been a house of horrors ever since the series started there. And we face a team that could lock up home field advantage for the AFC. That's right. Pretty boy Brady and the Patriots are who we face to end the season. But let's end it on a high note, Bills fans. Because guess what? Sal Majorana, who's I always trust with his opinion, feels the Patriots are going to smoke them. I almost said Broncos there. Boy, I got to get my talking in good gear. Oh well. But you know what? That's why they play the game. And as we proved early in the season against the Patriots finally breaking that streak, anything can happen. Let's close on a high note, Bills fans. I'm Ken Haas, and that's my report for this week.